I thought, okay, who is this guy? Is this a Smurf or something? Because you don't just randomly get a name for yourself. In the StarCraft scene, everybody knows everybody. MaxPax just kind of pops up out of nowhere, really. And, now he's really went from kind of a cheesy rep. Now he still plays unorthodox, but he's really just a solid player nowadays.
Yeah, and I remember when MaxPax first sort of came up, no one knew who he was. Everyone was like, oh, he's a 30-year-old Russian. And we're like, oh, okay. That makes sense. And then someone was like, no, he's 14 from Denmark. And I was like, shut the front door. Like, there's no chance. And yeah, at the time, he was a 14-year-old Danish kid. He does play unorthodox. He will, if he gets the opportunity, go for cannons, things like that. This game, he's going Nexus first.
I think, I forget who he was playing the other day. I was watching when I was in. I believe he did it versus... I don't know who he played, but it was someone good. He went Nexus first as well. I think he went Nexus first, and like the next game he went Cannon Rush. He likes to do stuff like that. Let's say mix it up. I guess in the intros, in the bottom left, top right, bottom left, the other right, top left, bottom left, we got Exxon Gaming's MaxPax 16. Goodness, what would it be? What do I give to be 16 one more time?
Yeah, right. To do it all again. In the top right, someone who I think also would love to be 16 again. He is the German in blue. He is teamless. Pick him up, boys. It's Lambo.
It's one of those things where it's hard not to root for MaxPax. Of course, I'm a big Lambo fan. I like Lambo. He's a hard worker. I feel like he's like the hardest to observe, where I just feel like he's so smart. Like, yeah. Like, if I'm ever casting with Lambo, it's like, I don't even need to say it. I'll be like, well, what do you think about this one drone? He's like, well, this is going to be 100 drone mutas. I'm like, what'd you see here exactly? What'd you see? So, we'll see. You know what? Okay, I like this double gate opener. There's a build I was thinking about a long time ago. Not thinking about. I remember seeing one time from me where he opened like this, and it was just like a faster variation of Glaive Adept pressure.
That's what I was
thinking. 2 gates early. You can start mustering them out, and he's only on 5 gases in his main base. So, calculated stuff, and
I think the first thing I see when I see this 2-gate pressure, and I think it depends obviously what comes out of these gateways early, but I expect definitely double adept to start. But I like the idea, and I love it on this map here on Eternal Empire, because the distance between the third, the natural, and the main is huge for roaches specifically, or queens, to travel. So I really do like Glaive Adept on this map. You see 2 being made right now, but this is MaxPax, so maybe we'll just see a Stargate. Who knows?
Yeah. He definitely seems to favor Stargate play. If I had to give him a reputation, I would say Stargate, Sky Toss. He is actually one of the textbook guys that likes to go like carrier disruptor. Like that's like him. Like obviously, Roddy kind of likes that type of stuff. But like MaxPax has been doing that stuff versus Protoss versus Terran, and it actually is very hard to handle. So it's one of those things. I remember even playing MaxPax where you feel like you have a window, and then all of a sudden he'll get a bunch of cannons, a bunch of disruptors, and you really can't do anything. You see the Adepts trying to find some damage, just walking through the Queen, acting like it's not there. And, just a little bit of an... Oh, he's going to go in, looking for some drones, gets one. The Lings are going to chase him down. I think he is going to lose both these Adepts. Not sure I like this trade for MaxPax right now, although...
Second one looking like it may well escape here, and it's going to be pretty close. As I turn into Mickey Mouse for a second, it does go down.
Not the worst. I do see the... Yeah. Okay, we'll see. Oh, no. Well, it can't be. There was a game he actually went the other day where he went Insta Void Ray and then like a 333rd. It's just like he's used this new Void Ray to just give him new liberties. But we do see the Twilight Forge coming out as a follow-up, so it looks like he is going to play standard. Although I would not mind to see like it would not surprise me if he makes like 4 Void Rays here just for funsies.
Yeah.
Things, it'd be fun to fly 4 Void Rays around.
Just so majestic, isn't it? It's my favorite unit ever, and then they buff it. Like, do they not know?
The Void Ray is a beautiful unit. I don't know what it is.
It's something, isn't it? I think it's the 4v4s,
Okay, yeah, I actually have memories back in the day of when I was playing on like Desert Oasis, like Wings of Liberty maps, and all I knew was a Void Ray Rush. That was all I knew. And if I went across the map with a Void Ray and they had a single missile turret, I'll just lose the game. It would just be over. I'd be like, that's a great build by them. That's literally my book. And the thing is, something about Void Rays just charging up and doing big damage.
Oh my god.
it's kind of my sweet spot. We do see it was a second Void Ray come out.
Second Void Ray, yeah. He's doing it, he's doing it. So this is the build that I've been doing against Zerg, where you just non-stop make Void Rays at one Stargate and make 800 Charge Zealots. It's super hilariously fun. You got to like +2 and you hit like a 10 gate timing is the way I've been doing it. Timing. He's adding on a second Stargate. Oh my god, what is it?
You know, I do actually really like this one because it's kind of like as a Protoss when you open like 2 or 3 oracles and all of a sudden I've got 2 or 3 oracles. You can't really attack me with your roach attack. You can't really attack me with some units because I got all these oracles. You can't do anything. Now he's doing the same thing. But with Void Rays, I mean, there's 3 Void Rays out. How does Lambo ever push across with Roaches? He can't.
He just can't. No.
Lambo he's a smart player, and I think he's the type of player that's just going to go up to 90 drones fast.
Yes.
And these Void Rays are being annoying, and I love this second over that has somehow finagled its way to the base.
Yeah.
He won't see that second Stargate. So,
no, the second Stargate down here in the natural. Double Phoenix production.
Yeah, I like
I'm
it.
lost.
He has not started +1 air weapons, I will say. That seems like something he normally would get by now. And he is going for that heavy Zealot build. And
yeah.
I mean, this is almost like taking me back to like Wings of Liberty, where you would open Void Ray, so they would go Hydra, and then you would just have Colossus.
Charge lots. Yeah.
He's going charge lots for the response. But it's like, you force out the Hydras, but it's really playing into your next move. So, I mean, he's kind of a nightmare to play against, really.
Templar Archives. Okay. So it seems like we're seeing air toss with gateway units, right? So we're not going to be seeing a Robo. If we do, it'll probably just be for an observer, maybe a Colossi switch late game. But he's getting all of the tech options bar Robo, and it's going to be very difficult because what counters this, you know? Zealots, Charge Zealots, very, very good against Hydras. Queens as well go down very quickly if they can be surrounded, and they can be lifted by the Phoenixes. Banelings can be lifted by Phoenixes. Here we go, and now the Queen's taken out of the fight. The Charge Zealots start tearing through everything. These Queens will get dropped, and they're going to be completely surrounded.
Are you kidding me with this attack? He just somehow finds
the Force Sphinx.
He's got the Void Rays. He's going to take down a bunch of Queens. Also force out a bunch of units.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough energy.
And he can just go home, but man, what an amazing attack. I mean, you think about it, he's on double Stargate. He actually hit a really nice +1 grounds and charge attack there, but like he's on double Stargate, all these air units, 3 Void Rays, and like if Lambo was playing like I would have expected him with like 90 drones, he would have just died there. It was this really weird timing where you feel safe and all of a sudden there's a bunch of Zealots. And look at this expansion, this 4th base.
So far forward. Yeah.
So that's pretty nice for Lambo. Now it will be interesting to see where Lambo goes because like. This number of Phoenix, and as I mean, if Roddy's out there somewhere, you know how Phoenixes can really snowball. If you win a fight with Phoenix, you can snowball. But I like Lambo's going Roach Hydra, a little bit of harass coming out, and this is going to be interesting. I will say the +1 air is a little bit late. I would not mind seeing him get stormed, but it's hard to afford what he's doing with all this gas, and I love this. You know, this is MaxPax to me. We got the cannons, we got the batteries, and somehow he's thinking about getting aggressive. I'm not sure if this will work out, but maybe he can find the timing again.
I mean, the Phoenix count is really high. We're looking at 10, 2 Void Rays, 2 Archons, 12 Zealots. It's very difficult. No one unit counters this, right? Maybe the Infestor, maybe. But it's very difficult to deal with this. And it looks like MaxPax for now is just going to be content with pulling out units. He needs to be very careful right now. He has a potentially very nice flank, though, onto the Hydras. He can lift up, he can catch the reinforcements. I think I agree with you, though. Not having Storm here makes this very, very difficult. So nice force fields catching a couple of Roaches. He does have a battery overcharge. He is getting Storm. It's halfway done. +2 soon to be finished. I think MaxPax is going to be okay.
Yeah, once Storm finishes up, I will actually like the situation for MaxPax. And we do have a very similar work count, 80 to 80. Now, Lambo has a strong army, and he's going to start maneuvering with this Roach Hydra. And this Roach Hydra, if it gets in the right situation, if the Storms don't land, and Storm is not done yet, Lambo might be able to kill a 3rd base before Storm is done, which would be more than enough damage. And Lambo knows he's got a bit of a window here. Lambo, of course, knows he can dodge these Storms. And Zealot Archon is actually not good versus this ground army. Okay. He needs the Storm.
Yeah,
a lot
Storm
of Roaches here.
Finishing up right now. Where are the High Templars, though? Do they have energy? They look like they just about do, or they're very close to at least. The cannons all getting cancelled. You can see he's building tons of pylons behind, so he can try and get batteries and things. The Storms come down in the bad weather, Hydras don't like it. They like it sunny. There's plenty of storms left. 4 high temperatures in the back, but this is a lot of units right now here for Lambo. Lambo is at 50 army supply, and the army of MaxPax is very efficient. These 4 pipes. But he's lost so many workers.
Yeah, just incredible timing from Lambo, finding the right moment. Because yes, there's a lot of Phoenix, yes, there's a lot of Void Rays, but it is mostly Zealot Archon on the ground, and versus this number of Roach Hydra, it's really basically non-existent. Yeah. That Roach, and Lambo takes game 1, and you know, a clean game by Lambo. There was a bit of a tense moment there where we weren't sure who was going to take that fight, me or Grant. We were both not sure who was going to cast it, and but at the end of the day, Lambo takes that game. And you know, it's one of those things where if it's me, like again, it's kind of a nightmare to play against MaxPax just because he does so much malarkey. But I feel like even with Storm, I know when they're on heavy Roach Hydra, you don't really want much Archons, because when the Roach Hydra count is higher, you want just Storm. Archons don't give you that much value. The Zealots don't give you that much value if they can't get on top of your army. And the thing is, like, there were Zealots, but there was so much air, there really wasn't much ground. And Lambo knew it. And I like Lambo's decision, not going up the ramp. He says, look, I'm not going to break this ramp. I'm just going to go to your third base. And that was where he took the game-winning fight. So,
yeah, you said it multiple times that Lambo's a very intelligent player, and he played that intelligently. He found an angle, he found a moment where MaxPax was vulnerable after MaxPax previously exploiting Lambo being a little vulnerable, and he was just able to snowball from there. And I was surprised. I thought without Banelings, without high tech units, it would be difficult, but I mean, Lambo made it happen.
Yeah. Just clean from both. I can get more into it when it starts, but in the bottom left, it is the man who, he's just always fun to watch. So if you're a caster, you root to get a MaxPax game just because he keeps it interesting. It is Exxon Gaming's MaxPax.
And his opponent even, the genius from Germany, the Red Zerg player, currently leading the series 1-0. It's Lambo.
You know, I would expect this game we're going to have maybe some mass Phoenix play again, but maybe just more committed. I think that's really where MaxPax finds his own. I will say some moves I loved last game was MaxPax's kind of oddball timing with the Phoenix, the Void Race on top of that fourth base from Lambo. Just something you basically never see, that type of engagement, that type of timing. And I think, you know, I guess Lambo didn't see it was double Stargate, but at the same time, you're not really expecting a push. I bet MaxPax killed a lot of Zergs with that exact timing, going too hard on the drones, going too hard into the tech. So, I mean, I loved how Lambo was able to hold on, and I just loved a lot of the moves that both players are making that game, and got a fake cannon rush coming out of it. So.
Yeah, MaxPax. And the thing is, you cannot underestimate MaxPax to not throw a cannon rush. And this is a great map for it too. So I'm sure Lambo had it in his mind that a cannon rush was possible here on Ice and Chrome. But no, it is the gateway. Span coming in here. It looks like the Cybernetic score before the Nexus. Very, very safe. Possible to get some earlier depth pressure going on here. Do you like to see the Cybernetic score or the Nexus first?
I would go Nexus first, but maybe he's got another plan. Maybe he's trying to get the faster depths out. Maybe. I will say, the thing about MaxPax is we just casted a game at King Cobra, and MaxPax is probably about 1,000 OMR higher than King Cobra, but like MaxPax is kind of just like a more refined, more solid version of King Cobra, where, I mean, if you're MaxPax, you wouldn't like that because, you know, MaxPax probably thinks he's quite a bit stronger, and MaxPax is a very strong player. He's got his own style, and it's a very strong style. I think it's very hard to kind of get your own blueprint in StarCraft 2, and I think that's just so cool for MaxPax that he's kind of got this reputation that he's not really cheesy. He just plays different, and it's solid.
And the other thing I think this is every incredible player in the world has always been capable of, is he is capable of throwing out an all-in. He can throw down a cannon rush. He can proxy. He can do all of those things necessary to keep an opponent. He's not predictable, right? Be it micro, macro, any kind of strategy he does, you just don't know. And that's what I really like. It's going to be that very fast Stargate here from MaxPax. And I think as you expected, we're going to see some Phoenixes here. Maybe a Void Ray to open, because they kill Void Ray so good. But because they kill Void Ray, because they kill Overlord so good. But after that, I think we'll probably see some Phoenixes here.
We do see a pretty fast 3 Adept here, so he won't be able to kill out these Overlords without a Phoenix. I would think it's possibly goes for a fast Oracle, just because with this timing, maybe he can find some drones before Spore Crawler is done. We'll see what he likes to go, and it is that Insta Void Ray like you called. I mean, the Void Ray is just so cheap now. It's just a different dynamic given to the PvZ matchup where all of a sudden before Void Ray was terrible, and now it's still, the book's not out. Some Zergs are like, well, if you make a Void Ray, I'm happy. Some Zergs are like, it's annoying. Everyone has an opinion, but it's just different. It's kind of nice mix up here. You know, maybe he goes for a couple Void Rays. It's just MaxPax. He takes you on a journey. That's what I'm looking
Yeah, he does. MaxPax is driving this ship, and we're all just passengers. First Overlord is going to get blown down here by this Void Ray. With its charge, it's now going to go hunting for a second one, cancelling as well, so we can catch up with it.
Looks like we have a big glaive follow-up or something.
Yeah.
Maybe he's going to go for some weird blink. This looks to me more like a glaive build. I actually saw, okay, he's only going to be on 4 gateways here, but just one Void Ray, and he has cleared out both Overlords. It will be interesting to see if Lambo goes for a safety Roach Warren or not, which I think he will want. I'm expecting glaive, but with MaxPax, I mean, it really could be anything. It is glaive.
You did it.
I've done it. And I mean, I feel like this is a build specifically that we don't see MaxPax do that much. This type of heavy glaive follow-up after a quick Stargate. He's got the rep to go heavy Stargate. And now, I mean, I like this as well, just clearing out some of the lings that are around his base, looking for another Overlord. And we have no Roach Warren, so there is definitely potential here, but can Lambo realize it? Lambo is scouting third base. He knows there's no third base up, so maybe he's going to start sniffing it out. We don't see Lambo on Lair yet, and we do see that Roach Warren. I think his spidey senses are tingling. He realized, look, you don't have a third base yet. What is happening here? We'll see if Lambo decides to go for a couple more Spore Crawlers, maybe expecting mass air, but
Groaning real hard.
And how many depths do we have? Well,
right now we only have, I think, 7. But another Stargate has been added. Phoenix production is beginning behind this, so this is by no means all in, as the third has gone down. Lambo sees that third. Now there's no proxy pylon, and there's no prism, so these do have to walk the long way. But now we're seeing, looks like, yes, just a 7. Glaive's not yet done, but seeing this many adepts, I mean, that's a bit of a tell, right?
And Lambo's about to see it, although he doesn't realize that Glaive is not done, so he doesn't actually see he doesn't see the indicator. But now we see 9 roaches, and I'm not exactly sure how I feel. This is actually kind of old school PvZ, where you get the Twilight, you get some adepts, you go into double Stargate, and we see 13 roaches on the way now. And I like this response from Lambo. I think it's a very nice spot. I think we're just going to get in a very normal situation. I don't think MaxPax has much room to go across the map with these adepts. I mean, they've been scouted. He knows what's up. Lambo's going to drone soon. He's going to do it. He's going to run into a lot of roaches, but you know how adepts can be. If they find just 3 get into a mineral line somewhere and start mixing things up, then, you know, he can change the game. And we do have the Mass Phoenix follow-up. This is Roddy style. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Where's Rotterdam?
Oh my god, it actually is. The Dark Shrine goes down. We see the adepts of MaxPax here filling up, and they're going for some damage. This is pretty good. And the Natural as well, tearing through that mineral line. Drone's finally pulled. 9 workers go down. This isn't too bad here from MaxPax, especially if he can get over towards that third and find some damage. Another big pull. We are going to see more drones pull. 15, 16 would be in a great spot. It is going to be a bit of a mission to get that high. And 14, that's pretty darn close.
No, I mean, I was thinking it would be hard for him to get anything done. He finds 14 drones. I love the spot for MaxPax. I mean, that was beautiful for him. Now he does have to worry a little bit about this counterattack, as the adepts are still in the main base, going up to 18 workers. God, he split up so well there as well. It's hard to have the correct splits and not be moving all your adepts in the same motion. So really nice to find 21 drones. And if you're Lambo, that's a bit of a tilter. I mean, you had roaches, you had the right numbers.
Going.
Now I love this decision for Lambo. I mean, this many queens, but that Dark Shrine, there is potential. I mean, he needs the Dark Shrine. Without the Dark Shrine, he has Lair though, yes, right?
Yeah, he has Lair. He just hasn't morphed him in yet.
Now,
and there's no Overlords that close. This one's coming, okay. 3 DTs on the way.
Yeah, you can't break this, I don't think. I mean,
Slice and dice, boys.
There's DTs, there's a lot of Phoenix. The Phoenixes actually are in numbers where I think they can knock down these queens. They are going to come in. They are going to go for these queens. Now, there are transitions, but there's DTs on top of the army. I'm not sure if Lambo's realized it. Now he has 3 Overseers being more pins. But this is really good for MaxPax. Don't let this applies to you. He's up 10 workers, and these Overseers are never going to be able to help him with this fight. I mean, the Phoenixes are just going to knock down all these Overseers. Overseers are also very pricey, so he can't just make a million Overseers for free now. It does look like he still wants to get some counter, and he's got so many roaches, he feels like I have to find some damage. But these Phoenixes in this number, this is what Roddy dreams about. I mean, goodness.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you guys in chat may be looking at the supply and going, but Lambo's still so far up. Roaches provide so much supply bloat, where they're worth a lot of supply, and really they don't offer a huge amount in terms of damage. And now we have batteries, we have Nexus Overcharge, we have a pretty good concave. Phoenix is coming back, more Void Rays being produced as well. There are still a lot of Roaches here, though.
DT is now going uncontested, and this is just a fight Lambo's not going to win. Down 13 workers. I don't think he'll tap out because he feels like he can still maybe claw his way back in. But do not be fooled. This is a nightmare. And it's not just that he's up these workers. These Phoenixes are so annoying the entire game, killing his army, going to be killing, and he is going to tap out.
Oh my god.
And we got 1-1, and I mean, the game was just beautiful for MaxPax there. He loses the game without that Dark Shrine. He really loses the game without the Dark Shrine, and, you know, just well played to him. Just well played.
Somewhere Rotterdam pumps his fist into the air, necks some Dutch beer, and knows that one of his prodigies continues onwards. Now, we will be going on to Pillars of Gold for our final map here, Chris. What do you think of this map? I mean, I know it's very hard to get inside MaxPax's head because no one knows what's going on there. But what do you think when you see Pillars of Gold against Lambo in this scenario?
I feel like this is a map Lambo is going to be very comfortable on. I mean, on paper, it's a good Zerg map, but I feel like, you know, when you're players of this caliber, like, maps matter. But they also, you know, when you're at a certain skill level, the maps kind of get factored out of it as well. So I feel like MaxPax is just going to stay true to himself, maybe macro up. I will say I don't love this map as much for Stargate because there's not as much airspace as some of these other maps. So maybe that hurts MaxPax a little bit. But, you know, last game, when I think about last game, it just impresses me that he had all those, he had this Adept build where it's almost so late it's good. You know, if you're Lambo, you're like, it can't be Adepts anymore. Like at a certain, like, he saw the Adept amount. I don't think he saw Glade, but he saw a high Adept number and he thought, you know, he knows. He would have known. But like, you're like, it's just so late. But then it still comes and somehow finds 18 drones that late. I mean, just remarkable that he finds that much damage. Then follow up with the double Stargate Phoenix. I mean, what more can you say? Just, he keeps you on edge.
MaxPax is just on his way back. He's having a couple of client issues, so we'll get into Game 3 very shortly. Other things that we could consider. What do you think, and I don't know about you personally, but what about sort of cannons or something on Pillars of Gold? Proxies?
No, I have seen some Parting enjoys cannon rushing on this map, and I'm that's true. Parting can cannon on pretty much any map. I think even a 4v4 map, he could cannon rush and find you.
Definitely.
But there is a spot at the gas geyser. I think Hellraiser tried to cannon rush Cheryl here yesterday.
Yeah,
on the left gas geyser, you can do it. I mean, I think cannon rushes can always work. I just think Lambo, it's hard, you know, because you're on the third game. You're always in that place where, as a player, you're like, a lot of times you're consulting yourself. Even during the loading screen, you're not exactly sure what you're doing. I mean, some players do, you know, maybe you got your plan, but I know for me personally, sometimes I'm thinking, well, I could do this, I could do that. I don't really know what I want to do right now. And I don't know if he's going to have the courage to go for something that cheeky Game 3, especially after, you know, pretty clean win last game. And I think Game 1, he also felt like he might have liked his position. So it really comes down to me is how they feel about the matchup right now. If MaxPax feels good about his mid to late game versus Zerg, I think you're just going to see something standard. But it's MaxPax, so maybe he'll give us anything. And I got to tell you, MaxPax is just the perfect name. You know what I mean? I mean, what a name that is easy to say, easy to create a build about. I mean, the guy is smart when you think about his name. Not that it matters.
No, it's super important. M. Canning, another legendary name.
So easy to say. M. Canning packs. Maybe I'm going to join the clan.
Oh! Won't let me change scoreboard. I'm just going to pop that one back in. That fixes everything. There we go. Okay, in the top right, he wins Game 2. Can he take it to Game 3 and upset the favourite? Maybe. He is Team Exxon's MaxPax.
In the bottom left, representing nobody but himself. He is the man who has been a staple of the European scene for years. He is Lambo. I think it's always impressive to me, the guys like Lambo, where, you know, people can always come in and out, and you can become a newcomer and you become strong, and maybe you're in the spotlight for a moment or a couple seasons, but to be so good for so long, that really is a true testament to really willpower, determination, because it is hard to stay mentally focused and be that strong, have that determination to remain a strong player. So when you really are able to stay a top player for years on end, I mean, it really is an incredible feat.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's someone else that maybe we can mention in that category too here, Chris, because you've been doing this a while now. So, you know, give yourself a pat on the back. And casting, coming from my bloody job as well as these guys' jobs.
It wasn't enough just to take the pro players' money. I said, I got to get that caster cash in my pocket.
Yeah, boy.
Now, we do see a fast cybernetics score again from MaxPax and a Zealot. I mean, this is like MaxPax in a nutshell. Like, what am I watching right now?
Why is there a Zealot? I don't get it. Like, okay, so is the Zealot going to run and just try and slow down the natural being taken as the third base?
I wonder. You know what I would like to see with a Zealot is maybe a Stalker. That would be something. Get across the map with the Zealot and the Stalker.
Heart of the Swarm stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would almost like this if there was like a proxy Stargate somewhere, and we do see a very late tech and gas. So MaxPax obviously prepared for what he's thinking about doing here. He's changing it up, but he's a little bit supply block. That's why we're going to now. We do see the Adept coming out. Okay. And, I mean, there's going to be 4 Lings. There's going to be
a load of drones transferring, though.
Yeah. I guess you saw the Zealot with the Overlord as well.
Yeah.
Now he's got this probe here. The probe in his... If it was just a Zealot, I'd say, what is this? But the probe in the Zealot... No, now this
is the strike force we all wanted. And a couple of drones certainly going to go down here. There's taking a bit of a battering, but the probe strikes back. It is fighting as well. How many times do you see probes as fighting units? Finally, this Zealot will go down. This was annoying, man. This was really annoying.
What? I gotta go back. I think that probe had 3 or 4 kills. It was the finisher. That was actually calculated an unbelievable amount. You never see it, and I feel like that was actually kind of amazing. I mean, that probe was actually big, and now we have 2 Adepts. I mean, MaxPax is doing a great job. It's kind of almost role reversal, where you have a great player disrupting the other, but this time you have MaxPax in the final game. Lambo, I'd still say, is a bit of a favorite, but they're pretty even these days. But, you know, MaxPax really disrupting the early game of Lambo. I mean, 8 Lings already forced out. We have 2 Adepts. I'm not sure if he has enough to handle these 2 Adepts. These Adepts coming in, finding 1 drone. And there's only 2 Lings left, and now these Lings going down. I mean, these Adepts are just chilling. They're going to be between the bases, and this is a beautiful start for MaxPax. Already have 4 workers. He has an Oracle coming out that is scouted, but...
I love that.
He's going to force out spores, and... Oh, he's going to
get more kills.
I like this. Nobody mining right now. The Adept's coming in. He is going to try to find 1. Nice control from Lambo. Only losing... Well, hasn't lost a drone to either of these, but a lot of lost mining time again. Now he's up 9 workers. He probably lets this spore finish just because the Oracle will come out. Yeah. I like the opener from MaxPax. I really do.
Yeah, I just love... Oh, I was going to say something. I love the courage of this kid. I was going to say something else, but it would have put me on the list. It's so good to just mix it up, to do something no one has seen. We have Lambo trying to get in here, but the Adepts are going to be able to shrug off those Ling slaps. And now the Oracle moving into the main base here. There is, I believe, already a spore. There's no... Oh, there is a spore. I just couldn't see it behind the logo. But it's going to get a couple of kills. And I've always thought MaxPax has very good Oracle control. He's going to be able to keep us alive. He's now killed a total of 5 drones this game without, you know, although he's committed a little, it's not too much. And Phoenix production has begun.
Yeah, I agree with you. Especially as a 16-year-old. I mean, he's just fearless, really. I feel like, especially game 3, it's hard to really change things up and try to get too crazy. And here he was opening Zealot into a Zealot probe her ass into the double Adept into the Oracle. I mean, especially game 3, you're a little bit nervous as a player, and the opener went well for them, but he's going to snipe this probe, which is nice. We do see double Stargate again from MaxPax. I mean, this is what you come to expect with MaxPax.
Yeah. Yeah, he certainly has a style, and it is certainly unique. MaxPax for now just dodging around, losing a couple of probes. This has been problematic. He's now lost 4 in total, which doesn't sound incredible, but there a couple of those. I mean, the one that was attacking obviously was always going to die, but a couple of unnecessary kills there from transferring probes. Just trying to take the third, which has been pushed back nearly a minute by Lambo and this small harassing force. Behind this, Lambo's getting his lair. His third is very, very well saturated, even already saturated his gas there. Adding gases on at the natural. Things are looking pretty good for Lambo now with a 16 worker lead.
Yeah. We praised MaxPax's creativity, but all of a sudden I looked up and Lambo was just up a decent number of drones. And we do have +1 air weapons, and I feel like most Zergs do not enjoy playing versus Mass Phoenix, so I kind of like it again. I mean, it's kind of a nice style to master, really, and we do see 2 Oracles trying to find some damage on the south side. Gonna get 2 drones. Not too much, and wow, he's got the Oracles on the south side and the Phoenixes in the main base. That's something. But I will tell you that Lambo probably would have known with all the Zealots that it was a second Stargate, and he did get the confirmation it's a second Stargate, so he is completely prepared this game, and I will say a kind of fast, somewhat fast follow-up. We see the Twilight and a few extra gateways being added from MaxPax right now, maybe just a little bit ground safety.
Is he going to add on a couple of voids, possibly, and go for that push on the 4th base again? Like he did in game 1. Obviously, he didn't open with the Void this game, instead opening with the Oracle, which doesn't serve quite the same purpose, but still is very useful if he is going to try get charge and go straight into that 4th base as it comes up in the next minute or so. He should start charge off almost immediately here as the Twilight Council has finished. There we go. He's continuing to make Phoenixes. He's adding on more gateways. I think MaxPax is looking for a bit of pressure here. Upgrade wise, you can see he is getting +1 air. That's very close to finishing. No forge yet, no. So no ground upgrades.
I will say, if there's one thing, I mean, I'm a little bit scared for MaxPax. I mean, he's made so many Phoenixes and this many Zealots, and we have the Baneling Nest, we have +1 link. I think Lambo is thinking, he's just sitting on 3 base, a very late 4th base coming out. I think Lambo is going to go for a big Baneling Hydra attack right now. Is that true? Actually, okay, he's got no Hydra on the map, so probably not going to go for that. But it was almost looking like, because I thought his 4th base kind of late, now we see just a million drones coming out, so of course not. But I will say, the creep spread, and it's not the best situation for Lambo. His drone count is okay, but I think now if you're MaxPax, you're not going to die to a Baneling attack.
Yeah.
You're going to be okay. I mean, Lambo's just going to go for +2, and then maybe eventually in that mid-game, he's going to hope for those Banelings. And we do see 6 Banelings being morphed, but they are going to run to a stasis trap, which...
Oh, yeah, there's a couple here as well. Phenomenal defense here of MaxPax setting up against something that EU Zergs are so known for. They are constantly sending these flanks and these Banelings in, and you're not going anywhere. The Phoenix is continuing to shark, looking for any overlords, any drones they can pick up maybe. Although I must say, despite having this many Phoenixes, he actually really committed many points to going in and picking off gas miners, He's really saving up that energy, and now we've got a lot of Zealots on the map. We've got Archons on the map, +1 ground on the way. Robo coming in. Finally, some Hydras being made here.
Yeah, I'm with you that he hasn't made the big attack, which is kind of interesting. But now he's got a lot of Zealots and Archons, and I'm not sure about this, but there is a number of Banelings at home. But he is setting up for these Zealots on the south side. MaxPax is actually the one putting on all the pressure right now, which is kind of surprising. He's got Archons, he's got Zealots, but there is a big Zerg army here. But are these Zealots on the south side gonna get it done? Now he did clean up the Banelings at home while it's all going on at the same time. A lot of action everywhere, and I'm not sure if I like this from MaxPax.
I hate observing. MaxPax now bringing his Oracles in as well now that he has cleaned up the Banelings. He's going to try and see if he can pick off any units. There's been a lot of drones moving back and forth here. And if those 2 Oracles caught up with this, it could be an absolute massacre. But they are just going to miss it. Going to target down the Spore Crawler, keep it open for another day. Hydralisk will come in and get zapped. But with more Hydras coming, these Oracles even will be pushed away. We have seen a Robotics Bay going down behind us. 3 more gateways. Is this going to be Disruptor? It's got to be, right?
It might be. The thing is, I'm a little bit worried about... I mean, there's so many Archons right now, which I do like because there's so many Banelings. But this many Zealots versus the Baneling count. We almost have +2 Banes right now. I will say it was very nice decision making from Lambo to pull his drones away, knowing the Oracles were probably coming, so he didn't lose them. And that was
40 Hydras.
Oh my god! Yeah, wow. So yeah, he does want some blood. Actually, now that Lambo's maxed, he might decide that now is his time to go, and that is a very hard army to beat. I mean, Phoenixes are good, but when the Hydra count is in this number, and we do see 2 Colossus on the
Storm.
way,
okay.
Yeah, but is it in time,
Is
Grant?
2 enough? Even?
If they get out, I mean, the thing is, these Oracles have been banking energy, and the Stasis are starting to help them.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see where Lambo goes from there. I mean, he's been sitting on max, or he was at least near max. Now he's just morphing Banes. And I think the longer this goes on, I do start like it. Okay, he's going into Lurkers, actually, which I don't mind. I don't mind.
No, I don't mind that either. It can be a little bit of if a Protoss sees the Zerg going lurker, sometimes he will just hunker down and throw down like a fleet beacon and start moving towards carriers and things like that. Of course, very difficult when there's this many Hydras to make that transition because carriers take so much time and you need critical mass to do anything. But, I mean, the Colossus, the first two, I believe, already out. Yep, 3 and 4 already on the way. We do have a Baneling run by. Nice probe pull here from MaxPax. And this is going to get shut down pretty well.
Yeah, not too bad. I will say, it's one of those situations where it's kind of a competition. Although Colossus, we are seeing more versus Zerg these days. It is kind of a fragile army, and if Lambo takes the right fight, now we do see lurkers coming out, and I don't mind the fast hive move by Lambo as well. But it was interesting where we did think that Lambo had a bit of a timing, but when you are facing Mass Phoenix like this, it's kind of like Terran overcommitting versus Phoenixes. Yeah, if Lambo committed before he got to that place he liked and lost his entire army, these Phoenixes wouldn't let you leave. So maybe that's what Lambo was thinking. He's like, I'm just going to play it safe. I'm going to get to the real late game where I'm pretty sure I can win. And we do have lurkers with their upgrades coming out, which I do like, but I will say it's a nice time for MaxPax.
Lots and lots of Archons in the front. Going to be able to keep the Colossus very well protected here. A lot of static defense from Lambo. I like that because he is buying himself a little bit of time, of course, and poking down at these Zealots. We have a couple of Zealots here just on hold position in the mineral line. Phoenix is going to lift up a couple of these Lurkers. There are still plenty more in the back, though. We're looking at 10 Lurkers in total, and that's going to mean it's very difficult for our Protoss player to engage. He's getting Storm. He's probing up. He's adding on more Zealots for counterattacks, I imagine. Or just defense. Yeah, he's going to shift back them around the map. And Disruptors on the way. You're going to see more of your favorite unit here, Chris.
Yeah, this is a fun game where they're both playing off each other, right? There was the Hydras to handle the Phoenix, and there was the Banelings to handle MaxPax's, MaxPax's gun. We do see him pushing across the map. But the Lurkers were the counter, now the Disruptors are the counter of the counter. The issue I have for MaxPax is if he doesn't take that right fight with this army, once Vipers come out, I mean, Vipers just hard counter most of this army. They counter the Phoenix, they counter the Colossus, and Lurkers are good. Now, what do we have happening over here? The Queen's
bunch of Queens just going for a ride, man. We do have a big push coming out from Lambo, though. It looks like Lambo maybe, I'm not sure how heavily he will commit or if he just wants to shut down this base, but I mean, he's back 3 fence, so he is going to section off a small portion of his army to push backwards, but this is very, very difficult to push into. And now with Phoenixes and the first couple of Disruptors out, 2 Disruptor hits, 2 huge Purification Novas could absolutely obliterate this army. We're going to see that push forward here. Disruptors forcing it back.
Wow, very nice bait from Lambo. Now he's coming in. He's got so many Lurkers. I'm not sure if MaxPax can push onto this many Lurkers, but MaxPax is going to go for it. He's got Archon, he's got Colossus, he's got a Zealot Warp in. Now there is still so many Lurkers left over that I'm not sure if MaxPax can hit. These big Disruptor shot landing on a couple of Hydras and some of the Lurkers, but they're not going to finish off anything. The Storms are big.
Storms are big. Now, Lurker count is still sitting at 7. The good thing for MaxPax there is he didn't lose any of the Colossi and he kept his Disruptors alive. But it's no frontline anymore. Purification Novas come out. They're going to shut down a couple of these Hydras as well as a couple of Lurkers. And MaxPax pushing back right now. He's adding in more Zealots, but he has no more Archons. He lost all of them. We've seen a total of 7 Archons go down. That is an expense. Upgrades are going to be favouring our Zerg soon. And as you said, Chris, Viper's on the way.
You know, actually, especially after that end Disruptor shot and end little skirmish, I actually ended up really liking that for MaxPax because MaxPax was he was at 140 supply, but he had like 3,500 minerals and 2k gas, so like it was a little bit misleading because now he's able to just ramp up into where he wants. And Lambo does not have much of a bank. He does not have that incredible work count, of course, both on 80 now. And now MaxPax thinking he's got a moment, and he might have a moment, at least to knock down at least one base. And I'm starting to like the situation for MaxPax.
I think I seem to like every situation MaxPax gets into. This kid is 16 years old, and I mean, look, to put that into context, even Raynor's like nearly 19, and he's one of the young ones. So, I mean, the sky's the limit. Huge Purification Novas killing 7 drones there. Could have got a few more, but certainly a great shot nonetheless. And forcing more lost mining time, more dead workers. MaxPax behind this. He has a fleet beacon. He's
Lambo's across the map,
more Nexuses.
And there's going to force a recall, and the Banelings coming in, and these guys just trading bases for bases. Now, can he finish off this base? This army does not look very big for Lambo here. it'll be interesting to see if he can finish the space off. I mean, it's so many Lings versus Colossus. 4 Tempests on the way. We do have a big fight coming in. Ling's trying to get on top. The Viper's pulling in. The Colossus is going to get spook Colossus. There's a lot of Banelings going down.
Yeah, there's no Banelings left, and there's hardly any Lings either. Hydra count low. It is mainly now a Lurker-based army. 4 Tempests on the way now for the Pax, as he looks to provide the smackdown here onto Lambo. He's adding in more stasis traps as well, which I love. This is what he really needs to do. Now, as Tempests come in, he needs static defenses. He needs to really start to choke Lambo out with his very, very efficient units. We do see a warping coming in here that will be able to shut down these Lings, I imagine. These Lings do have 3-3. Oh no, they only have +1 armor.
That's not very strong. I was going to say this would be a massive snipe, and now Lambo does know about this base. We do see some more reinforcement Lings. I bet he warps him into Banelings to try to snipe that base, because this base is actually huge for MaxPax, because right now we're at that point of the game where both players are kind of getting low on money. Now Lambo is taking the sword base, but their third bases are mining out, and that new base for MaxPax in the top left is huge, and we do see a bunch of Lurkers and Banelings coming in. Lambo knows this base is big, and there's a lot of Zealots here, but these Lurkers are going to clean up these Zealots.
Oh my god, look at him melt. That's gross. We have another push through the middle here. Tempest is going to start knocking away as these rocks get taken down here, slowly but surely by Lambo. We do see a couple of yoinks here onto the Tempest. One will fall down, but if the Tempest turn around and target down these Vipers, are very expensive units as well. A couple of Lurkers going down. It does look like the fight at the top left does go Lambo's way, but both players are still max. We have 4 more Tempests in the production tab. Do you like this? Lots of Tempests?
I do like it. This is kind of the more the meta in Europe, I feel like, where you don't see that much carry. You see a lot of Tempest, and if you're good with Tempest, they're good. Personally, I feel like Tempests are just so fragile, it's hard to make them work, and I'm like, in most situations, I'm like, man, I wish I had like 10 carriers instead of 10 Tempests.
Wow,
but
and take a look, if you can, quickly, sorry to interrupt you, but the resources lost, because, I mean, it's very MaxPax favored, like 6k. MaxPax traded very efficiently. We have another recall here of a few units, just a few. The full army getting recalled. There is plenty of detection as well, it seems, so the Lurkers will go down. MaxPax loses 12 workers that he probably doesn't want to lose, but he's doing a good job of splitting his army here. He still has plenty, I think, down in the south location to keep this defended. He can fire off a couple of those big Purification Novas and get a couple of Lurkers. There we go. A couple more. See you later. Storms as well. Taking down the Banelings. So it looks like this base is going to stand strong. Now, MaxPax, of course, has lost a lot of workers over these 2 bases, and that number continuing to rise. But his army is huge, and it's very high-tech, plus 2 air weapons finishing off. It's going to be difficult here for Lambo to break. He is going Spire.
Yeah, I feel like the last 3 or 4 minutes have just been really nice maneuvering by Lambo, really nice game sense. And now he's got himself into actually to a pretty nice spot, especially on Spires that he's able to get some Corruptors. Because, like, it's a lot of Disruptors, but I just saw 50 Lings on the way. Now, yes, there's Storm. Yes, there's Archons. We have 12 Lurkers.
14!
Wow. Now, that is interesting, but the thing
There's
is,
a lot of
MaxPax
Tempest
is very low on money. And he is almost all in now. There is a ton of Tempest. We only have 17 Hydralisks coming out right now for Lambo. And I think these counterattacks from Lambo have been really good, really hurt the economy of MaxPax. He needs to find big damage right now. He's got a very strong army. Like you said, Disruptor's going to try to look to find, but we see big Lurker shots already killing a lot of the Archons.
Yeah, the Lurker's so hidden.
Yeah, and now we only see a counter Disruptor, so only getting a little bit done. And now these Vipers are so good in the counterattack of Lings, Grant. I didn't even see it. Killing another base, and this is an all-in from MaxPax. He has to kill Lambo here. And Lambo knows that he doesn't need to take a fight. He can keep dancing from these Lings. Lambo playing a very strong late game right now.
Yeah, no, MaxPax down to below 30 workers, and he's not going to be able to remake them anytime soon. What he has is what he's got. Now, it's still very difficult to break. This many Tempests are able to siege from a very long distance, but I'd like to see... if I'm Lambo right now, I'm looking, just get the Vipers, get the yoinks. We're seeing a lot of Hydras go down. Is there any detection left here for MaxPax? Yeah, he does have 4 observers, but yeah, they're hidden with the army, I believe. Some very nice Storms here as well. Purification Novas come out just to pick down one of these units at a time. But Lambo at the other side has completely gutted MaxPax. He will have no more production this game. He has no money, he has no income. He's, I don't even believe mining. 42 workers have died. Here, Lambo has killed 73 probes in total this game.
Yeah. It's surprising to me that Lambo is just going for Hydra Viper, which I think Hydra Viper is great at handling air units, and with Lurker, it's kind of the style where you go Hydra, Lurker, Viper. And we do see MaxPax thinks it is time, maybe, but these Lurkers are just so spread out in beautiful positions, and anytime MaxPax steps too far, it's just taking big casualties from it. We see one Tempest trying to hold them. And these Tempests are finding good damage. I mean, they are killing these lurkers like they were meant to do. The issue is just wasn't able to hold on to those bases. And really the counterattack is
mining, that's the problem. Lambo has so much money. He's now also reinforcing the front. He's completely broken down MaxPax's door. He's up 100 supply, and it's looking like this is all Lambo. MaxPax needs to find the perfect fight. He's still relatively healthy with 82 army supply, 0 workers left. And it looks like it is time for the German to go for it. He goes for it. The storms are huge. They're going to kill a lot of this army. But there's just too much, and there's not enough here for the young Dane. He put on one of the most valiant fights I think I've ever seen. But oh no, Lambo!
Is he gonna wait? Is he not bringing the Hydras up to wait for the hatcheries? I can't tell. He might be. How many hatcheries will we see? We see 1 hatchery, 2 hatcheries, 3 hatcheries. He says, just because you're young doesn't mean you can beat your elders. Lambo. He is styling on